I'm going to try another one of these streams. Last week we did okay, got a little bit of the way. Uh, for those of you catching up, we got our website up and finally doing what I wanted it to do. And let's watch it a little bit. I click on my image and boom, it demos the effects that we're going to try to do with our bouncing triangle screensaver. I finally got that to work. I was overcomplicating matters with what I was trying last week. I got it simplified, and I would go into a lot of detail, except I don't want to. But basically, what you're looking at right now is a canvas element on top of an SVG element and also on top of an image element. All of that stacked on top of the image element that was there on the page in the first place. Well, a couple things have happened since we last streamed. One is our extension, our Chrome extension, got approved and released for unlisted status, which is what we asked for, which means that our friends and family could take a peek, and we got a bunch of feedback back. So we worked on the feedback. Oh, that's interesting. So the screensaver itself kicked in on top of the window. That's probably going to happen several times. If it gets too annoying, I'll turn the screensaver off, but that's where we are right now. At any rate, the yeah, we added some effects. Yeah, okay, that's too annoying. That's the screensaver running on top of the screensaver. Just not going to work. Maybe it'll work better now. Or I'll do this. I'll turn this guy on, but then make this guy the focus one. At any rate, we added a third effect. And with that adding of the third effect, which is the rainbow effect, I kind of made the decision and call with the team that we were going to refactor the whole thing. And so now it's refactored, whereas it was largely a couple of classes and a bunch of JavaScript. It's all classes, and it's been refactored a couple of times. And the other thing refactoring we did is we got rid of some of those extra elements. And so in the latest version, latest version, the screensaver is a single SVG on top of whatever the background image element is. That's cool. What we want to do now is we want to work on the website again, because we want this version of the bouncing triangle logic, which is a library now, to encapsulate those new features so that it's a little bit less memory intensive and also includes the next effect. Plus, we changed a little bit of the timing, and because some of these effects are very cool and people want to watch them, and they can come and go, in microseconds. We set a delay timer in the place so that anytime an effect changes, it's at least 5 seconds before another effect will replace the existing one. See, sometimes they're very cool and they just go away, and you're like, wait, I wanted to see that, a little bit more of that. So I'm going to give you a little bit more chance on those. Okay. I don't have it quite. The other thing I've decided to do is we had 2 copies of the code hanging around, and I'm not going to do that anymore. That's the very first problem we're going to solve today, is how to have one copy of this code in one place and not have it in multiple places. What I think I'm going to be able to do is just in VS Code reference the same files from multiple places, not necessarily from the folder where the workspace is. That should work, and if it doesn't, we'll investigate other options, and this will be a very boring stream. Okay, with that said, we are gonna move along. Let's see, we have Kiwi Gamer in the stream. Hi, Kiwi. I cannot promise I'll be very good at looking at messages. In fact, I'm pretty freaking bad at it. So if you think that I'm ignoring you, please trust me, I'm not. I'm going to bring up the chat window locally so I can maybe maybe do a little better at seeing maybe do a little better at seeing people, seeing people's messages. See if I can turn myself off on my phone. Okay. All right. Well, that said, let's see if we can write some code today. Okay. Like before, what we're going to see up above will be the live website. Below will be my local instance, but going to be a little bit. I got to figure out this sharing a source file thing first. Okay. First thing I am is I'm in the wrong project. Oh, I also noted it was a little hard to see the code in the video last time. It's pretty freaking small font, so I bumped up the font size. If anybody's got some feedback on whether or not that font size needs to be bigger, you should speak up. Okay, I'm going to swap over to my website workspace. Ta-da! Beautiful. And I am going to take these two files and I am going to what am I going to do? First thought is to delete them. Because what I want to do is I want to use the bouncing triangle file from the other project. If I delete these guys, then it won't find bouncingtriangle.js. It's almost like I need a symlink. I don't want to make a symlink. But that might be what I need to do in order to be able to reference bouncing triangle in place. I definitely don't want this guy going. So yeah, I'm gonna pull this. I'm definitely deleting him out of there. Okay, those are my assets. These are my Newton's method. That's something else. Let's go back to our index.html. Our index tells us it wants to load Google Fonts and the website. Then it wants bouncingtriangle.js from the same directory as the index. That's going to be problem number one. Because that doesn't exist. Damn it. I've already defeated myself, I think. I think I'm going to have to put it back. At least the JS file. Yeah, for now I'm going to put it back because I would rather not bore you guys with my floundering. I'd rather get to work. So let's put this back. Okay. Alrighty. Now, goes and gets a new bouncing triangle, creates an image, and on load. Oh, sorry. Creates a new bouncing triangle. That's it. That's all it does. Right. On the init, it does this, and on okay, and then on the on click, it does a start demo with the name of the image. Well, one way to figure out how screwed we are is to Oh, I know one way we're screwed already. It won't stop. All right, let's get the website running. This is a Node.js version of the website, and if we just do this, we're up. Okay, so what you will probably see when I click on here is it will try to run, and it did not. Okay, first clue that we've got a problem to work out. Let's figure this one out. Head over to our DevTools. Start BT demo is not a function. Interesting. I might have gotten rid of that function in the refactoring I was doing for the extension itself. Okay. Let us figure out what we can do. Easiest way to do this is to read the freaking file. Now this is, of course, compiled from TypeScript. So let's look at start BT. We have a start BT. We have a setup BT. We no longer have a start BT demo, yeah, because we figured out we didn't freaking need it. All right, so let's go back over here and take out the demo part. Reload the file. Oh, save the file. I did it. Reload and click. That's better. Ooh, I see the rainbow function already working. Nice, rainbow is working. That puzzles me. I have a feeling that is related to the fact that the image that I'm using as a background here is much bigger than the space allocated, and that's a problem I want to solve. There's the rainbows again. So the new effect is in. That's good. I want to see if it'll do the multicolor gradient like we see up above. There we go. The gradients are there. That's beautiful. This 3 gradient effect here can make some really interesting pictures, especially when you're running this on top of text rather than another image, when you're actually running it in a web page. It's actually pretty cool. Okay, but now I'm still pretty sure that I'm not getting See, my website kicked in. This is the screensaver version. On the bottom half, you see the screensaver version. Look at that. Look at the gradients. Look at the 3 gradients. Oh, I love it. No, I don't know why the colors were changing in the wrong time. I'll have to fix that at some point. This is pretty cool because we've got like 3 different instances of the function running. One is a screensaver, 2 in demo windows. That's very cool. Oh, there it is. Yep. Okay, there. This is what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's screwing myself up. Okay, so we're gonna reload here. Okay, that or here's a quick problem we need to solve. This is our problem to solve. We're supposed to stop when the demo runs. And what's happening here, I'm pretty sure I know what's happening, and we're gonna have to go into the library code and address it. What's supposed to happen is when you click again, it's supposed to stop. See, stops. That doesn't happen right now because that click logic was attached to the canvas element that I had previously. And then again, as I said, I don't have the canvas element, I just have the one SVG element. So I really, and that shouldn't be a function of the image itself. That should have been a function of the fact that I was running in a demo mode. So I should have been handling that out here. So that's what we're going to work on right now to start with. And then we will work on trying to get the problem with the blue image, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. All right, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to head to our Twitch unextruded. What the fuck is that? Oh, right, yeah, that's down there in our socials, which we worked on last time. Right now we have the on-click on the image always starting. So what we want to do is we want to do different things. So we're going to make a method. First, we're going to make a function up here in the JavaScript for this file that does our thing called stop or start demo. Okay, so now we said declared there's going to be a function. Let's go write that function. Function net bool, yes, that's my bouncing triangle object. Actually, I can probably take that out now. Yep, I probably can, can't I? I sure can. Function start or stop demo. And like, here's the code that we were using before. Okay, I can say function, let's go set BT object to null. So it's got a starting value, and its starting value doesn't mean anything. If BT object, so it has a value, so we've set it. So great. So we've never set it before. Here it is. Let's get it started. But if we have set it before, BT object equals null. BT object dot stop BT. That's what I think it's called. Start BT, stop BT. Yeah, that'll cancel the animation frame, stop the effect timer, remove those, set this back, and remove the image from the stack. Yeah, okay. Couldn't be simpler. Is there a way? Is there a way that we could make it without BT object not being a global? I don't like globals. Well, I don't think so. I think there's something I'd have to keep around. Let's see how this does. Okay, all we're I probably renamed it something else. course I did. Reload. Go. Okay, started. Stopped. 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 Yeah, okay, it's good enough. It looks like you're clicking on the triangle, you're picking up, the SVG is picking up the click and for some reason responding to it, which is interesting. I may want to go tell the SVG to ignore the clicks. But I kind of thought that's what would happen anyway if I didn't do anything with it. So, if I didn't do anything with it, I kind of thought that's what would have happened. I'm not that worried about it though. I mean, this is only right now being used on the website, so. Alright, I'm not gonna call it necessarily good, but I'm gonna call it good enough for now. The fact that it's picking up the image is a little bit disturbing. That it's picking up what I think is happening is this, because this image is a bigger size. It's much bigger. It's 1920 or something, and I'm scaling it down to put it in this thing because one, I love the picture. It's right, not too far from my house. I walked to this place and took the picture. It was awesome. And second, I just don't feel like resizing it. So what has happened is that the logic that picks up the clipped area is only picking up, it is using pixels as if the image's native size was the same as its display size, and it's clearly not, right? So I need it to number one, I need it to change effect at some point, and then I need it to use the whole image. There we go. That took a little while. It's all random, so it could have randomly happened. Oh, I'm not guaranteeing that the colors stay the same, but I will guarantee that the gradient effect will stay the same. Okay, I'm thinking while I'm watching because why is it doing this? Y'all may have to watch me do some research. That may be the bottom line here. You guys may need to be watching me do some research. My clipped image should be the size of the blurred image, but I'm very clearly getting, yeah. Okay. Let's go read some code. Let's read some code. Ah, you can keep playing. Oh, fucking screensaver is gonna kick in, isn't it? Not if I keep typing. Okay. I think you're doing exactly what I wanted. Good job. We are gonna promote you up. I'm in the wrong view here. Yeah, I don't want to do those guys yet. Okay. go read some code. It gets the blurred image, tells the SVG, make it yourself. Here's your image source. Okay. So most of the setup happens up in the SVG canvas. Okay. May have to check that one out. Blur is the effect that is what I call the effect that is supposed to be the image. And I give it a URL. I give it this triangle. I wonder if I need to go play with this image. All right, let's go check with him. Rainbow effect, radial effect, blurred effect. Yeah, blurred effect. Really doesn't ever set. So it's picking up the whole image. It really ever doesn't set its size. Yeah, we need to set the image size, ladies and germs. We need to set the size of this image so it's alright. So let's go to the interwebs. Undefeated, right? Alright, let's say an SVG image set size. How to scale SVG. Let's not exactly, yeah, let's do this. So this is the trick. People keep thinking SVGs are image type, and that's not what I'm after. This is more what I'm after. I love CSS Tricks, by the way. Great website. This is how I finally learned CSS. Hi, Viable. Hey, I'm not great at looking at chat, so apologies if you don't hear from me later. I'm just screwing around trying to fix our website so it shows the latest features of our Chrome extension. And today I'm learning about how to set the, well, at the moment I'm trying to figure out how to set the sort of rendered size of an SVG image element. Yeah. And I was just singing the praises of this website, CSS Tricks. CSS was rocket science, Greek, whatever euphemism you want to use there for me in the past, and it's much better. Okay, this article is talking about SVG as an image, and I want to resize the SVG image itself, which might just be where I end up taking, I probably just sort of end up taking the height and width of, yeah, that's not exactly what I'm looking for either. Yeah, let's categories, attributes, conditional processing, core, graphical, event, presentation. Excellent. The width the image renders at, so which is probably exactly the same as the SVG's width, which have already been set. So that's what I'm going to try first. Now, I gotta swap workspaces because my JavaScript compiles over in a different workspace. I have got to figure this out. So here in my blurred effect, I create this image. Let's do this. This dot clipped image dot width equals svg dot width. No. I didn't say. Sure. Why not? In fact, let's do this. Because I can't seem to set it this way. I might be doing something weird with my TypeScript, but svg.style.width, which is already a string. Okay, beautiful. Let's compile this. I have to compile for ECMAScript 5 because I'm using privates and etc. Some of those class modifiers. I think public and private are phenomenal things for object-oriented programming, and that should always be used. Extension. Here we go. Copy you. Website. I have got to figure out how to do this in GitHub. Okay, that localhost refused to, oh yeah, that would help, wouldn't it? Fuck. Okay, I'm gonna run. Yeah, when I change workspaces, my friend here decided to stop running my node session. So I'm just going to do it like this, so I have it outside of Visual VS Code, so I can go back and forth. Node website.js. Okay, now let's load up localhost. Boy, that is absolutely the wrong thing. Am I? Oh shit, I'm in the wrong project. That's my very old website. You can see I featured this image at a much higher resolution, and that's why I love the image for many reasons, but yeah. There we go, much better, and we reload, and that looks more familiar. Oh, check me out. Check it out. Oh, look at that. It's got the image. I just needed to set the size right. I just needed to set the size right. Look at that, and it's bouncing around. Oh, chat, you have no idea how happy this makes me. Look at that. That's cool. Yeah, oh, the gradient effect. Love the gradient effect. Back to the blurred image. Back to the gradient. Bounce those colors. Blurred image. looked a little weird. Oh, fuck. Yeah, see, that'll happen. The actual screensaver kicked in while I was running the screen. Okay, that's not great. That's not 100% lined up at all. Okay. We're gonna go put it at 0, 0. Yeah. What workspace am I in? I'm in this one. Yeah, let's just go ahead and do this at top and left at 0, 0. Recompile. Okay, triangle extension, source code, website, paste, replace, reload, give it a click. No, it's still off. Why is it off? Could be that the fact that it could be that either I'm pulling the wrong properties and I need to set different properties, or that the SVG version of the image is scaling at the same aspect ratio, and I've given it these dimensions that may or may not align with the native aspect ratio of the image. That's a possibility. What we can do is, okay, I'm going to turn off the extension. I love it to death, but I'm going to turn them off. Thank you. That's it's a cool thing. We programmed this so that you can control how many minutes it takes for the extension to kick in, and you can also turn it all the way off without disabling the extension. So I can still run the extension manually. So I'm not actually disabling the extension. I'm just setting it so that it doesn't invoke on idle. Okay. What else we got? Clan member, if you have any questions, just stick them in chat. I'll do my best to answer. But like I said before, I'm not great at paying attention to chat, especially if I'm knee deep in coding. Okay. Back to this problem. I don't know what the answer is right away, but I do know what. Oh, how about I spell left right? I wonder if these things are actually being set. So what I'm going to do is look at the method I have where it sets the size and position, set attribute width and height, style.width and style.height. Yeah, I ought to be able to pull style.width and style.height because it sets up the thing, it sets its size and position based on the constructor. Then it creates the blur. Yeah, I ought to be able to get the style.width and the style.height and have reasonable values, but it looks like what's happening is it's a little off. So I'm gonna, oh yeah, let's just reload it. I'm going to, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? I need to interrogate. I have a real feeling that it's making it fit, and I don't want to make it fit. I want it to stretch. So, conditional processing, graphical event, presentation, transform. Preserve aspect ratio. Let's look at that. Yeah, see, it's making it. Yep. Let's none. Let's go preserve aspect ratio equals none. Yeah, let's use that. Let's use that. That's in the thing. Let's head up here. Constructor. Now here's the thing. I don't set them if I don't think they're helping. And I'm not sure if they're helping or not. So let's try this. No, tell you what. These I don't think helped. Those may have. In fact, they did in fact appear to. So let's put this in equals none. Copy code. Paste the file. Reload. Looks better. Looks way better. That was it. Yeah, so I just needed to set the width of the element so it was the right size and tell it, don't worry about the aspect ratio. Stretch the fucker out. Whew. That's very cool. Okay, so at this point, the working version of the website on my computer is using the new version. As you can see, there's down at the bottom, the new effect is running, the rainbow effect. And looks like the image is scaled consistently. Correctly is in the eye of the beholder. Consistently with the image element is what I'm after. That's phenomenal. Okay, now I've also uploaded a new version of the promo video. So let's go grab that link from YouTube and change out the link. And if that's the case, we're going to get all this shit checked in and promote it so that the production version of the website is up to date. God, that's good. Yep, that's off. Done. Love it. All it takes is to read a little bit. That's the cool thing about software is that once you get it right, you don't have to change it anymore. It's not like you have to fight for hours every single time. You get it right once, and then you move on. You have it right. You don't mess with it, right? It's cool stuff. Kind of love software that way. Okay. Don't need you. Thank you very much for your time. Whoa, didn't want to do that. Okay. We're going to change now the URL. So let's go get the URL. YouTube says that we need to this is the one. Okay, so that's the new promo video. So okay, let's check these in while we're thinking about it. Okay. I really wish I could do this from here. New file, new folder, refresh, collapse. I would like to source code control those two, please. The fact that I have to come over here and fight with it is a pain in the ass, but oh, didn't want that. Let's get rid of this guy. Okay, what is this? That's website. Nope. It's both on the website. These are from extension. Exchange. Let's. No, let's not do the website one yet, or the web index. Yeah, or this one. Yes, let's do those two. Updated SVG image to scale. Graphic. Okay, now let's head back to our website workspace. And at this point, we're going to height, width, sort of aspect ratio. Okay. I'm going to change the link to this YouTube video. That's all we're going to do at the moment. We're going to check out our Promo video. Okay. Share. Copy that. Yeah. Reload. Promo video takes us to the new one. Yep. Coolio, 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 Coolio. Okay, you can go down, you can go back. I really wish this would do a new screen, so let's change our align tag to target equals blank, right? Yeah, so it will be in its own screen. I'm going to end up building a whole page for this and have that page go live, in theory, right in alignment at the time when Google does the review, but you can never tell how long the reviews are going to take. So it's a little harder. A little harder to predict that one. Okay, so that's good. Yep, it's in a new tab, bouncing triangle, 1.0, nice. Okay, and the images are lined up. It's the right size, the right scaling. Got the gradients, got... Occasionally the gradients end up with like the same colors or weird colors or that are too close to each other. You make you go, wait, what? And you realize, no, that's called randomization and it's chaos and it can happen. Let's get a rainbow in here. Gradient, gradient, gradients, gradients. There's only a 1/6 chance that anytime it bounces, it'll shift to, there's a 1/3 chance it'll shift to something else, and that something else will split evenly between the other two. So, it's not surprising that it might take a little while. It is called randoming, and all outcomes are eventually possible, right?
Can you please walk the dog while I make dinner?
There it is. Love it. Love it. Okay, cool. Alrighty. Let's check in these changes. And then you guys are going to keep seeing code, but I'm going to actually push it to the website. Of course, I'm using FileZilla. FileZilla wants an update. Give me a minute. It's going to install FileZilla. Thank you very much. Reconnect to my server. Okay. How about taking these two files? Okay, depending on caching, that's the new one, and it's in its own thing, and this is website. All right, image looks good. Gradient. Oh, that's a rainbow. Rainbow looks good on the website. You can visit the website now if you want to play with the demo. Gradient. Oh, looks good, looks good, looks good. Cannot wait for this to be live. Gonna get, I'm sure, tens of downloads, tens of installs of our extension, of our Chrome extension. Nice. Okay. Now what? Well, it's 4 o'clock, and then I was going to shift gears now. The next big thing I was going to do is work on some factorization of our Newton's method project. We want to be able to do, right now it has examples of just some basic polynomials. We want it to be able to do lots of different kinds of equations, and then eventually let you, the user, pick up and run your own playlists and pick, I want this one, I want that one, I want this one, make your different images, save them off, make galleries, that kind of thing. I'm just wondering if there's time to do that tonight. We'll get started and then we'll pick back up next time and see where we are. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Okay, we're back in the website project still. Yay. Newton's method is here. Newton's method is here. Newton's method is under projects. There it is. This is going to be a lot of refactoring. One of the things I really like to do when I do these things is change a little, test a lot. Make a small change, test it, small change, test it. You saw examples of that in what I just did. I'm not sure with the refactoring effort we're going to be able to do a lot of that. And no, I don't have any unit testing. And no, and yes, that's bad. And yes, we absolutely believe in test-driven development, but yeah, not today. So I'm going to go ahead and just bring up the local version and run it a little bit so you can see what we're after. Right now it does 4 equations, x to the third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, minus 1. And then it plots out for each point, it runs it through Newton's method, solving that equation, and plots out what root that point eventually converges to, and the shade of the color gives you some indication of how many steps it took to get there. And so we do 64 attempts, and then once it's done, you've got a gallery of pictures that you can look at, play with, right click, save as, whatever you want to do with. Because this is all on a canvas. And eventually what we want to do is we want to be able to easily do different kinds of equations, because there's some really cool fractal images you can build with equations that are other than these very simple polynomials. So the factorization we have in mind is to create a class for equations and then another subclass for polynomials, and put what we've got right now into that class structure for equations and polynomials, and then run that as a list rather than as an expected set, just an arbitrary set of equation objects. Yeah, so that's going to be fun. Like I said, there might be a lot of coding without a lot of being able to test it over the next several minutes. So I'm going to take a short break, look at my empty screen. Ooh, you know what I might do? I might have a be right back. Hang on for a second. Yeah, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna let you do this. I'll go get some to drink. Yep, we're gonna run this like this while I'm stepping out. Um, I'm actually gonna restart it so I can go let you guys run the whole thing. There we go. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. Got a drink. I am not going to um, TypeScript this at the time. TypeScripting will happen at some point, and it's going to probably uncover a bug or two and save me time later. But that is just can't imagine anything more boring for you guys to see. So I am not going to TypeScript this at this time. Instead, you will note, by the way, it's all in one file. I did that on purpose so I could share it with people and just save. You want to see it, grab a file, play with it, do what you want to. Okay. Need to think about this for a minute. Definitely going to make a couple of classes here that are first class. It's obvious complex number. Beautiful class, love it. If you ever want to figure out how to, if you're mathematically inclined, you ever want to worry about learning about classes and object orientation, complex numbers are great kind of concept to play with because it's not just one variable, right? It's two elements, and then how you calculate distances and how you add and multiply and divide is different. So you end up writing the methods. It's a pretty cool thing. All right, so the first we're going to do is we're going to have a class called equation, and this class, I'm not going to worry quite so much about the constructor, but it is going to have three elements. And I tend to define those in constructor since I'm not using TypeScript. This dot formula equation empty strings to start with. Derivative, because you need the derivative for Newton's method to work. And this dot HTML are kind of the three things we need. And now I'm already regretting not using TypeScript. But we're going to move on. And then we're going to have class polynomial, which extends equation. And this is going to be interesting because this is going to take a constructor, an array, of array of coefficients. EFI, CIE, Okay. So, that's an array. And someone's going to ask for your HTML. You're going to return see, by TypeScript, I would define this up there as an abstract, and then this would be not an abstract, but overridden. At any rate, I'm going to return I'm going to return this .html. What I'm going to do is here is I'm going to super, because you don't give a shit. And then I'm going to, let's try just building the HTML first. Okay, coefficients, the way coefficients work is, let's write some comments. If I see a coefficient is an array, it's an array of array of values, numbers, used as coefficients for the respective powers of a polynomial, respective power elements of a polynomial equation. X to the third minus 1, the array would have values 1, 0, 0, 1. For 16 x to the, for 8x squared minus 3x minus 12 3 8. Okay. All right, so that's how the coefficients operation works. We need to build out its HTML. Let's make a loop. Okay. All right, so we need to build this out, and then by convention, all right, we just need to so here we go. Let's treat because of the way we need to do this. Nope. Let's build it from back to front. Let's build it. Yeah. Let's do it like this. Yep. Let's cheat. Okay. Okay. Let coef equals coefficients dot if coef is greater than 0, Okay. Yeah, so what we're trying to do right now is make a string of, in case anybody cares and is still watching, I didn't talk for a while. Trying to write to do is make a string representation of the expression so that it can show up right here. You see where it says x to the 6 minus 1? We'll then be able to make an HTML representation to insert right there based on whatever the formula might be. So if I'm looking at this, you can generalize this a little bit in that you only care about this plus and minus if HTML already has a value in it. There's already something there. So you could just test for that. You could change this test to only do this, and then everything else becomes a generalization of this.html plus equals string math.abs plus this format exponent, unless the coefficient is 0, and then you don't want to do that. So I think that I'm not saving. I think this is more straightforward, even though I am duplicating this. I'm duplicating this string plus format exponent. I could stick I could do this. What if I did this? Just for, you know. What if I did that? Yeah. New term. Is that right? No, that's not right. That is definitely not right, because if the first term is negative, that does not work. You want the coefficient. Yeah, we're going to leave it like this. Okay. Yeah, the reason that did not work was because of the first coefficient was a negative number. I was ABSing it, and that, like, you don't want to ABS it. You want the actual number in front. So we're going to try one called format exponent. And this takes a number. We'll call it exp value. And if exp value is less than 0, you know what? I don't care. Exp value equals 0. Return this. If exp value equals 1, return lowercase x. Exp otherwise return come on, Robert. X super tag plus exp value plus in the super tag. I think that's going to do it. Okay. Okay. Okay, first let's make that. Make the derivative coefficients. Now I need to go through and make another array based on the first array that is a number of the, what am I trying to say? I gotta make the array of coefficients for the derivatives. So for the derivative function. So for polynomial, it's there's one less. Well, in theory, depends on how many terms and where they are, but basically, for each term you have in the main equation, the derivative has a similar term where you take the power, multiply it by the coefficient, and that's the new coefficient. We reduce the power by 1, and it goes all the way down to the end, and then whatever's at the 0th, you don't actually do. So, I'm going to, let's say, this dot deriv cos equals new array, and the length is this dot equation coefficients minus 1, because there's always one less. Yes, because whereas you like x to the third minus 1 has a third power, a second power, a first power, and a 0th power, so 4 values. The derivative of that is x to the second, so it has a second power, first power, 0th power, so subtract 1. Okay. Coefs length loop plus plus. Let's think. It's pretty easy. It's not derivative coefs sub in loop equals equals this dot equation coefs sub in loop plus 1 so it's so x is just 3. It's the equation. It's the power that's it. So it's whatever your coefficient was times your power, which is represented by loop. Yeah, times power minus 1, right? So let's quick check. X to the third equation coefficient would have been, for x squared, whatever it is, x to the third, x to the third equation coefficient would have been 1 times it's equation coefficients. Yes, whatever the coefficient was times whatever its power is times all right, so x to the third, so the derivative of x to the third is 3x squared. you get that by saying, okay, the coefficient for x squared in the derivative case is the coefficient for x squared in the derivative case is 3 times whatever the coefficient was of the 3. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so equation coefficients, which are given to you in the constructor, are saved off. You make the derivative coefficients, and then you make yeah, I don't know what those are for. Oh, it's a method. Tell you what I should do. I can do until I get TypeScript involved. I can do this. Okay, now for polynomial, what's the equation value? Pretty fucking simple. equation value is oh, this should be a fucking formula up here. No, not equation. Should be a polynomial. Sorry. got it, I think. Okay, so we have this formula value, which will take any sort of formula and any sort of starting point. Remember, we're all using complex numbers, so two values here. We start with any sort of formula, any sort of starting point. The first value is basically the coefficient of x to the 0. So whatever the hell that is, that's the first thing, and it goes into this complex number, which, so here's the whatever the coefficient is, and then there, and then no imaginary point. And then you start with the point raised to the right value. This point raised to the whatever value starts out as 1. So you first raise it, so first times through, you go through this loop. So you've got the x sub 0 value here. That's the root 0. So now you're at root 1. You raise this point value one time, so now it's going to be point. So this is basically, you're taking point, you're multiplying by point raised is 1, so you get point. So this is like the x by itself with no power. And then the value of your equation is simply adding, then you multiply point raised by the current coefficient, by the coefficient for the x sub 1. And you add that to the value. And you just do this over and over again. And then finally, you return the value. So equation value then becomes return this dot formula value sub this dot equation coefficients and the starting point. And since that's a one-liner, I'll let it slide that it can be on the same line. It's practically a property, except that properties can't have parameters. There's some languages that allow that, but JavaScript does not. Maybe TypeScript does. Doubt it. When we get the TypeScript, we'll check that one out, because I really like to use the parameters. Okay. Now I have this thing. I got this thing. I have an equation, I have a polynomial, and now I have Newton's method. So setting the handlers is all interacting with the window. Start drawing is literally do that. Draw fractals. Set the handlers. Great. Good status. I'm calculating coordinates. That's correct. Get my canvas. Set some shit. Here we calculate the starting points. That's not going to be any different. Here we push the various colors we're going to use to illustrate roots. Not going to be different. The number of algorithms, the number of images. So right now this is saying go do exponent number 0, and I want to change that. Instead, what I want to do is build up an array of don't want to just walk through all these exponents. What I want to do, because this assumes that we're going to just do all these exponent ones, I want to walk through, I want to build up an array of equations that we're going to solve, and then loop through the equations rather than the exponents. But to preserve our sanity, I'll use the exponents to build the equations. I'll use the exponents to build the algorithms. In fact, I'll even not quite. I'll do this slightly differently. I'll come down here to the exponent and I'll say, create your polynomial. Instead of doing this, I might even do that. Let's look at what a new Newton's method is. What's a Newton's? That's this class. Yeah. That's this class. That's a great point. So here's where we're calculating the roots. The roots need to come from the equation. All right, I'm going to take a break. In fact, I'm probably going to call it a night because I know I'm not talking a lot, which means it's a boring stream. Thanks for checking in again. Check you guys next time. And maybe next time we talk, we'll be talking about the reception on the actual extension being launched, and then we'll be talking about how this refactoring went, because I think this is going to be very cool. It's going to allow me to add lots of different kinds of different methods of effects. And one of these days, I want to work these Newton's method things into the screensaver. To do that, I'll have to pay attention to timing and be generous with my calculations and giving time back so the graphics will run smoothly between animation frames. And then once I get a picture drawn over the area, I'll incorporate that into one of the many potential backgrounds. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. All right. Thanks, everybody. Talk to you later.